I was taking care of some business with Hannah at the stud farm when I heard you needed someone with a stout heart and a strong arm.
Well, that's true, yes. Have you come to help me?
I can't say yes until I know what's going on. Tell me, and I'll see if there's anything I can do to help.
All right. Thank you. So listen, there's a powerful protective charm I desperately need. A Thunderstone. It's a great rarity. But Thomlin Bruthans from Horshan has one. He just won't let me have it. The thing is, he sometimes wages it in fights.
I think I understand now. But what about your husband? Couldn't he take care of it?
He tried, of course. As soon as I heard Thomlin had one, I sent Demir over there right away. But the poor wretch came back black and blue.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you want me to fight Thomlin and win the stone for you?
Well, yeah. And I know I'm asking a lot, but I'm really desperate. And I have no one else to turn to. I prayed fervently to the Virgin Mary and implored her for help. And now you've shown up. Besides, by the looks of you, you have the strength of a bull, perhaps two. So she surely sent you to help me.
What is a Thunderstone?
Well, they're formed when there's a violent storm with forks of lightning and peals of thunder. The biggest of these are Thunderstones. They fall from the sky with a mighty boom and burrow deep into the earth. After a while, they work their way back up to the surface. And if you're lucky, that's where you'll find them.
What can these stones do?
Lots of things. If you have one, it protects you from all harm, helps you in battle, and brings good luck. It also wards off and cures diseases. And if you put it into the rafters of your cottage, you'll be protected from fire and all manner of other calamities.
What does the Thunderstone look like?
Well, from what I saw of Thomlin's, it's the size of a grown man's fist, perhaps a tad bigger, sort of elongated and curiously shaped. It's flat on one side and has a round hole through the middle.
Why are you so desperate for this piece of rock?
That's my business.
Look, if I'm to help you, I need to know what you're going to do with this stone. I don't want to get caught up in any witchcraft.
This is no witchcraft. It's just... Fine. Listen, I'm afraid for my child. And myself. All my babies died shortly after birth. Bless their souls. And birthing is very hard for me. I nearly died last time. The stone has the power to help me and protect my next infant. That's why I want it.
Look, this Thomlin seems pretty handy. I'd have to be daft in the head to fight someone like that. Especially when there's another way. What if he were to just lose the stone? These things happen, don't they?
You mean... No, that wouldn't do. You're asking for trouble if you steal something like that. It would cause very bad luck. Besides, I'm of honest stock.
Oh, I understand. No offense. I just wanted to look at all our options.
A fair fight is our only hope, believe me.
All right. I'll help with your trouble.
Mary, Mother of Mercy, thanks be to the both of you. This means so much to me.
Save your thanks for when I bring it to you.
I shall. Don't you worry about that. We've got some groschen put by, so you'll be handsomely rewarded. I'm also on good terms with Hannah, so I could put a word in for you at the stud farm. She'll give a generous discount if you want to buy a horse from her. And I'll pray and intercede for you, I swear.
All right, you have yourself a deal. I'll go to Horshan and take on that Thomlin fellow.
God bless you. The Broadhands have a big farm. There's a wayside shrine in front of the gate and an orchard out the back. That's where you should find him. But be careful, and don't underestimate him. The stone has great power, and it won't be easy. See you later, my friend.
Good afternoon.
Tell me more about the fight.
Ask away.
What fighters do you have here?
Stanley is the strongest. He works on the farm and's quite a big mouth on him, but he has the strength of 2 men. After him, Tuma, a farmer from across the way. He's quite a bit older than me, but don't let that fool ya. He has a steady hand and bloody good aim with it. And last and maybe least is Darling.
Where do your fights take place?
That old Chuchas.
And who might that be?
Chucho is our hog. We fight in his pen. He doesn't care. He always just hides in his pigsty.
I reckon I can find that.
I'm certain you can. Just follow your nose.
Darling?
He's kind of like the local buffoon. His name's Tobias, but everyone just calls him Darling. When he was a wee lad, he fell on his head from a rotting ladder. And he's never been the same since. He takes care of his aunt's horses and dogs in Grund.
He doesn't sound like an opponent to be feared.
Because he isn't. He's quite a lout, but he doesn't know the first thing about fighting. He hasn't won a single fight. But it's not that he doesn't try.
Can I get involved too?
Why not? It'll be good to have some new blood, and maybe you'll learn something from each other. Do you have any experience?
Well, I haven't won any tournaments here yet, but I've knocked a few people around.
Well, you'll see if that'll be enough.
And if I manage to beat them all?
Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Darling may be a bumbler, but Stanley and Tuma are no pushovers.
Well, if you pull it off, you certainly won't come up short.
Hey, Thomlin. People around here tell me you have a Thunderstone.
People say all sorts of things.
They also say if I beat you in a fight, it's mine.
Those days are over. There was a time I'd put it up for grabs in fights with cocky fools. That much is true. I even had a couple of craftsmen come from the burg to try their luck. But everyone got a thrashing. Well, then I decided to retire. It didn't seem right, and my conscience was getting the better of me. But if you're itching for a fight and need to vent your ire, there are plenty of locals who will oblige. It's as I said before, nothing has changed in that regard.
I'll consider it. I might find the time to practice with the local boys.
Right, as you wish. You'll always be welcome.
You know, about that Thunderstone.
What now?
I want to see the stone first.
You what? Don't you believe me? Everyone here knows I have it.
Well, exactly. Everybody knows you have it, so why not show it to me? Besides, I've never seen a magic Thunderstone, and here's my chance. I may never have another.
All right. Have it your way, then. Here it is. Almost as smooth as glass, and pointed at the end. It fits into your hand just right.
Wait, is this really it?
Of course.
I don't think it is.
Well, I think you know fuck all about it, and you wouldn't recognize a Thunderstone if it dropped out of the sky onto your head.
Oh no, wait. I read something about that. How was it? A Thunderstone, otherwise known as fulgur conditum, is an earthly mass struck by lightning, which then conceals itself within. This stone lies buried deep under the earth before ascending to the surface after 7 days. A round hole is punched in the stone itself by the thunderbolt, but your stone has no hole.
Oh, you're a scholar, are ya?
Well, I learned enough to spot when someone tries to hoodwink me with a rock they picked up in a creek.
I didn't mean to deceive you.
Stop fucking me around. I need to find the Thunderstone. Do you have it or not?
I don't have it now. I really did find a Thunderstone, and I had it right up until the other day when it was stolen. I didn't want word to get out because I'd look like a right fool. So I acted like nothing happened. I'm sorry for leading you on. I didn't mean any harm.
And do you have any idea who might have stolen it from you?
If you ask me, it was that Hensel from Rabosh and his little mate Peter. They were ever so curious about it right before it disappeared.
And you didn't do anything about it?
Of course I fucking did. I went to wring their necks, but they disappeared like the steam from my piss. They must have seen me and bolted, which only confirmed my suspicions. I haven't had any luck finding them since then, though, and I don't have time to chase them around the countryside. I have the farm to take care of.
All right. I'll have a look for them.
Well, when you get to Rabosh, take the main road away from the fortress until you reach the first farm on the right. There are hired hands there. That much I found out. If you find the stone, please bring it back to me. I'll make sure you're well rewarded. You have my word. I was the one who found it, so by rights, it's mine. It was destined for me. To mess with fate would only bring bad luck and misfortune.
Tell me, how did you come by the stone in the first place?
That's a secret.
If you came by it honestly, why be so secretive about it?
I'm not hiding anything. I'm just not one to brag, that's all. And until it's back in my hands, I don't want to talk about it.
I can appreciate that, but sharing a story isn't exactly bragging.
All right, then. I found it a couple of years back in a field outside Billany. On the way to Wizard the Quarry. You probably know the place. I was going to take a shortcut through the woods, but there'd been a hell of a storm about a week before. It tore off roofs, carried away some shepherds' huts, even toppled the tower on those fortifications at Gutenberg. And it very nearly flushed us out of here too. A proper act of God it was. Well, the forest was a complete mess, so I couldn't go that way. So I decided I'd go through the field. And all of a sudden, I stumble over something. And what do I see? A Thunderstone right under my foot. Stroke of luck it was.
Nice and slow.
God bless you.
Greetings, my friend.
I need to find a Thunderstone, and I heard you might know of one.
Oh yeah? Who told you that then?
Some wayfarer in a tavern.
Really? Which one?
In Horsham.
There's no inn there, but the Bruthans have a farm out there. So I can guess what's going on here.
Well, I suppose you guessed right. Thomlin over Horsham way told me you pinched his Thunderstone. You and some Hensel fellow. So you better come clean, before I let Thomlin beat the truth out of you.
Fuck me! So Bruthans made you his lackey? As if that stone hasn't caused enough trouble already.
Yes, I'm a lackey, as you say, and I'm not ashamed of it.
All right. I'm a stable boy myself, so basically a lackey too.
So, from one lackey to another, tell me, where's the stone?
We fucked up. And all because of that stupid stone. I wish we'd never taken it.
So Thomlin was right. It was you. Where's the stone now?
I haven't the faintest. It was all Hensel's idea, and he had it on him the whole time. And before you ask, no, Hensel's not here. Andrew is holding him captive.
Oh, for fuck's sake, I'm missing something here, and it's not just the stone. So tell me, what the fuck happened?
We wanted to butcher Andrew Ramhead's band of pillagers, but that's easier said than done. So Hensel got the idea that we could borrow Thomlin Bruthan's magic stone from him to help us fight them like, but Thomlin wasn't having it, so we filched it without him knowing, and then set off after those bandits. But everything went to shit. They caught Hensel and almost killed me and Stislav. So, you come a bit late for that fucking stone. Not that it brought us any luck anyway. If I were you, I'd give it up as a lost cause.
How did your assault go?
Hensel led the way. There was him, me, and Stislav. We wore padded doublets and took hunting knives and axes. Stislav had a bow too. We got within earshot when it all went to shit. Stislav stumbled and yelped. Then they noticed us. After that, everything happened so fast. We charged at them, Hensel up front with us behind. Arrows started raining down. They all missed Hensel, but I was shot in the arm. It hurt like hell. I was screaming and scared shitless. So I took to my heels. I met back here with Stislav. They chased him, but he being so lightly dressed and them in armor, they couldn't keep up.
How many of them were there?
I'd say 5, 6.
You went up against 6 of them?
Of course not. We waited for some of them to go on patrol. That left just 3, though heavily armored they were. If we'd caught them by surprise, it might have worked.
Where's Stislav, anyway?
I don't know. He was a bundle of nerves after what happened. Packed up and left. I've no idea where he went, and I don't blame him. I'm not exactly doing great myself. It really pissed Andrew off, and now he's even nastier to the villagers than before.
Who is this Andrew Ramhead?
A mercenary commander from King Sigismund's army. He's been ordered to guard the roads with his men. Or so he says. But apart from that, they also carry out raids, rob the people, mug merchants and steal cattle. And they make the peasants pay tribute. And of course, after our fuck-up, they've turned the screws and are demanding even more. Another reason for everyone round here to hate me.
What about the Lord in these parts? I mean, there's a fortress here, so he must have plenty of men-at-arms.
Well, the Lord has decreed that no action is to be taken. He says it's better to put up with these fuckers than to flush them out, because that might raise King Sigismund's hackles and he'd only dispatch more troops. That's what I heard, anyway.
Why did you want to kill them?
Why? To stop them doing mischief round here. We wanted to help the village. We could hide in fear and moan, or do something about it. And we also wanted to make a bit of a name for ourselves among the locals.
It was brave of you. You wanted to do the right thing. I would have done the same.
Not that it did any good, but thanks. All the folk here now take me for a fool. You're the only one to see it differently.
Where can I find this, Andrew?
Are you fucking with me?
No. I'm sorry about what happened to you, but I badly need to find that stone. You don't just lose something like that. And from what you said, it seems I don't have much choice.
I'm telling you, that stone's cursed. Weren't you listening to me?
Can you hear yourself? You attacked a band of hardened mercenaries. Anyone else would have paid for that with their life, but not one of you was killed. Not to mention that this Hensel, the one with the stone, wasn't hit by a single arrow. But you were.
Sakura, I never thought of it that way. You know, you might be right.
You see? Now tell me where this camp of theirs is.
You'll come across some ponds between Raborz and Bohunjovic. Near one of them, there's a fork where wayfarers sometimes camp if they're stuck for a place to stay. From that fork, follow the water downstream, and you should find the ruins of an old mill.
And that's where they're holding Hensel? The one with the stone?
Yeah, there. But if I were you, I'd stay off the path. Take the hill and nip through the woods. You'll get to some rocks overlooking the mill. You'll have a bird's eye view of everything from there. That's the way we went too. But make sure they don't spot you. There's a good chance they've upped their guard after our attack.
Sound advice. Thanks.
Look, what's your plan anyway?
Well, I'm thinking if I can find Andrew, I'll find Hensel. And then I'll finally get to the bottom of this shit with the Thunderstone.
Just be careful, because Andrew's a cunning fucker. Look, since you're going there anyway, I know I'm not in a position to ask you for anything, but still, do you think you could rescue Hensel?
Why doesn't the local lord do it?
'Cause he doesn't give a shit, for Christ's sake. He cares nothing for the likes of us, understand? Hensel's just a stable boy who toils with his hands. No lord's going to do a deal with Andrew for him.
And how, pray, do you expect me to do that?
I don't know, just something. 'Cause if you don't, I don't know who will. Andrew's a greedy bastard. Some coin might do it. Or you could sneak in quietly and slip back out with Hensel.
How about I just kill them all?
I thought best not to suggest that. You know how we ended up. But, you know, whatever you think's best. It's just, they're pretty tough and well armed, you know.
I'll manage somehow. But the whole thing's getting so messy, it's almost like the stone's power is interfering somehow. But if I find a way, I'll help Hensel.
Thank you so much! May all the saints be with you, and I hope you have better luck than we did.
Easy. Nice and slow. Go! Quick! Go! Whoa! Whoa!
Scram! Right now. Clear off!
Hey! By all the saints, don't leave me here! Please, untie me!
Relax. I'm getting there.
Thanks. Thanks, whoever you are. Come on, let's get the hell out of here.
Scram! Right now.
I'm always glad to see polite people like you.
You all right?
Yeah, I am. All things considered. Thanks for rescuing me. You have no idea how grateful I am. God knows what they would have done to me in the end. All that aside, who are you, anyway?
Henry.
I'm Hensel, and I owe you big time, Henry. Though, in all honesty, I'm not sure why I was worth all that trouble. But grateful nonetheless.
Peter told me what happened.
Peter? Well, thank the saints for him. So he's safe and sound, is he?
In a manner of speaking. He got shot, but nothing serious.
What about Stislav?
From what I hear, Stislav made it out unscathed too. But what happened scared him so much he scarpered.
Sakra. At least he's alive. I was worried about them both. It's all my fault, you know. Oh, I dread to think what could have happened to him.
Listen, it wasn't exactly by chance that I ran into Peter either. I was looking for you in the village because of the Thunderstone you stole from Thomlin in Horsham, who by the way is royally fucking upset with you.
Well, I suppose I would be too if I were him. But I have to say, the whole Thunderstone idea was the stupidest I've ever had. It brought us no luck, no protection. Well, the opposite, in fact.
Let's forget that for a moment. What I really need to know is where the stone ended up.
You won't be surprised to hear. Ramed snatched it from me when I was captured. He didn't believe it had any powers, but he has a nose for money. That's all that matters to him. From what I heard, he sold it in Sukdal to some farmer's wife, I think he said, Mlada or something. Well, from the edge of the village.
Sakra, that stone really is cursed. Well, there's nothing for it. I'm off to Sukdal.
Hold your horses. That wasn't the only thing I heard. There's this pond below Raborsh, right? And on the bank, across from the village, there's a small crag. Somewhere around there, they hid some of their spoils.
Well, they hid it all right, but not well enough.
What? You filched Andrew's stash? Well, good for you. Serves the bastard right. I was gonna cast an eye there myself, but I see there's no need to bother now. Well, thanks again for everything, and God be with you wherever you may go.
I'm still curious.
As you would.
And this Andrew and his soldiers, what were they doing here?
Andrew Ramed, they called him. He had this handsome hammer, shaped like a ram it was. And that's what they say he named himself after. Their orders were to keep watch out here. But they had their own ideas of what that meant. They fleeced wayfarers, merchants, locals, wherever they could. No one was safe. They often grumbled that the army wasn't paying them properly. But if you ask me, they more than made up for it on the side. They even took someone's cow.
What are you going to do now?
Oh, I don't know. Same as before, I suppose. There's nothing to keep us here, but I can see Peter and me staying another summer. Perhaps longer. I mean, it's nice here, and the village is protected by a strong fortress. It's a good place, if you ask me. You never know. I might find myself a piece of land, or marry into some.
Tell me the whole story from the beginning.
Well, it just pissed us off how Andrew was always extorting and bullying everyone. And not just us. The local lord who did nothing about it. And everybody in the village kept grumbling, but nobody took any action. I knew about Thomlin's stone, and I thought that with its help, we'd have the edge on them. That we'd help the people in the village. And make a bit of a name for ourselves around here. So when he refused to give it to us, I borrowed it from him. Well, I was thinking we'd give it back as soon as we'd sorted Andrew out. I'm serious. I swear.
And what about your expedition?
Well, first, we scouted the place on the sly, and then waited for some of his men to go out on patrol. We armed ourselves as best we could, and made our move, from the top of that rock there. We were almost there, but then Stislav stumbled or something, made a ruckus, and they spotted us. After that, everything happened so fast. I hollered and lunged at them. Peter was yelling something, so I thought he was behind me. All these shots were whizzing past as I charged at them, but nothing hit me. Well, then I got stuck in. They outnumbered us. In the end, I took a blow to the head. That was pretty much it for me.
What happened after you were captured?
I was scared. shitless. I thought they were going to kill me. One of them suggested just leaving me tied up in the woods or drowning me. But thankfully, Andrew disagreed. So they held me prisoner. I don't even know why.
See you later, my friend.
You silly doggy. It's a nice place to rest when you're passing by.
Greetings. What do you want?
I heard you bought a Thunderstone from Andrew Ramhead. Is that so?
Well, it is. What's it to you?
Andrew Ramhead took it from Hensel from Rabors, who in turn stole it from Thomlin Brookhans down Horshan way.
And? I don't know those people. Even if it's true, I knew nothing about it. I bought the stone fair and square, and for good money. My husband's gravely ill and nothing's helping. The stone is to heal him.
And what ails your husband?
Peter went to lie down one afternoon and he hasn't budged since. He's not eating, and he's barely talking to anyone. What's worse, soon after he took ill, a Minerva owl perched on the roof one evening.
A Minerva owl? I assume that doesn't bode well, does it?
No, not at all. An owl on your roof means death is closing in. That's why I need the stone. If it weren't for the stone, I'm sure Peter would be gone by now.
I'm afraid the stone is unlikely to do him any good. It only brings bad luck.
What? What are you talking about?
You see, because it was stolen, there was a switch in its power. It no longer protects from misfortune. Quite the opposite, in fact. It's cursed. Toying with these things is playing with fire.
I don't believe it. You made that curse up. I'm quite sure the stone will help Peter.
It's like I'm invisible or something.
Listen, we need to get that stone out of here. If you want, I'll take a look at your husband and see what I can do about his malady. And then I'm going to take that stone away from here. The longer it stays here, the more trouble it'll cause. I'll return it to its rightful owner, and that will lift the curse. Do you agree?
All right, fine. But just do something for Peter. And please hurry. With that owl and everything, I'm quite sure the Reaper's nearby. You'll find Peter in his room.
All right. I'll take a look at him and see if there's anything I can do. It's usually a good idea to speak to others who are close to the sufferer. That may be able to explain a few things, especially if the patient himself isn't very communicative.
Aha. I see you really have done this before. I'm starting to believe that stone really did draw you here. So, ask around on the farm if you need to. We'll all be at your service.
Perfect. I'll get on with it. And I'd better check the whole room, just in case.
Do whatever it takes to help Peter.
Can you think of something that might help me healing? Anything?
I can't. I'm desperate myself. I've tried just about everything. Peter is just an ordinary cooper. We've lived here for years. We go to church. My husband doesn't travel outside the village often. This last time he had some business in Pechgau, near Kolin, but he came back empty-handed. Breathless and confused. He was fumbling around here for a few days, not doing his job, just spending time in his workshop. Lord knows what he was doing in there. Then he went to bed, and since then, he's just been lying there. He doesn't eat. Not even the potions are helping. He doesn't sleep a wink at night. At least, I don't think he does. If I stopped sleeping too, our homestead would fall apart.
I'll ask him why he can't sleep. What's tormenting him?
Try that. He won't speak to me about anything. It's as if he was keeping secrets from me. Or maybe just protecting me from something. Take care and good night.
Greetings.
I found the Thunderstone.
Really? Oh, God bless you, Henry. Without the stone, I don't know what I would do. Or what else could help me.
Well, you don't have to worry about that now. Take the stone. I hope it helps you.
Thank you so much. You have no idea how much this means to me. This stone will make giving birth easier and save my baby's life.
Glad to have been of service.
I'll get Hannah to give you a lower price at the stud farm, as I promised. And you know what? I'll share a piece of wisdom my grandmother taught me. She said you need to brew nightshade with twice as much mugwort and a good splash of brandy.
Hold on. I know that concoction, and it's no laughing matter. So please, never ever try to brew this yourself. Such concoctions should only be prepared by a properly trained apothecary. If anyone else makes it, it could end badly.
My, what a scholar you are. But you've been so helpful, I believe you. And I promise not to brew it myself, or tell anyone else about it. So, at least drop by to see my Zdemir. He's a very skilled man. And since you've been so helpful, if you like, perhaps he'll let you in on some of his blacksmithing secrets. Oh, and I also have some money put aside for emergencies, so you can have that. It's not much, but it's all I can give you.
Hold on to your money. I'm sure it'll come in handy for you at some point. I was glad I could help. So let's leave it at that.
Oh, Mother Mary. What a noble man you are. Thank you.
God be with you.
Good to see you.